Alright y'all, so I just got back inside from patterning some of the most popular lead turkey loads, and this isn't even clickbait. I was shocked by the results. So two things shocked me. One, I did the Longbeard XR test. You probably haven't seen on YouTube, and if someone else has done this test, I just haven't seen it, so stay tuned for that. Secondly, one of the cheapest loads that gets pooped on in every Facebook group for turkey hunters that I'm a part of actually performed as good or better than a majority of the field. So stay tuned for that and check out the results that I got from my gun, my choke combo. Alright y'all, gonna be out here patterning the old turkey gun, getting the itch for spring fever this year. So I've got a stock 870. This is the old Walmart special. This is gonna be our test gun today. I'm gonna test pretty much every single of the most common popular lead loads. So I've got Winchester Double X, Longbeard XR, and I've got a twist to the XR. You've probably never seen this test, or maybe it's the test you didn't know that you needed. But with the XR, there's a resin in the load that holds those pellets tight as they go down range. That's how you get some of that extended range. And that resin needs to be stored in a room temperature. So I've got several boxes that are several years old, have been stored out in a shop here in the Tennessee heat and humidity. And I'm going to test those against a new box of the exact same loading, see if there's any difference there. And then we've got the Remington Premiere, I've got some Remington Nitro, we've got the Federal Grand Slam, and the load I probably killed the most amount of turkeys with, the Winchester Double X. So anyways, without further ado, like I said, 12 gauge 870. Every single one of these loads is going to be in a 3-inch. I've tried to get as apples to apples as I can, so they'll all be 3-inch number 5 shot. I do have one 6-shot of the Longbeard XR. I want to try those. And in my opinion, you know, when I started turkey hunting, someone told me, hey, to turkey hunt you use a 3.5-inch shell. And as a little kid traipsing around the woods with a 12 gauge shotgun that was as big as I am, shooting 3.5-inch Magnum turkey loads, I was scared to death to pull the trigger, and you know, felt like I was getting killed on the back end as much as the turkey was from the front end. But I've since gone to 3-inch shells, and I've not had a turkey that I couldn't kill with those 3-inch shells with modern loadings, modern chokes, and modern wads, and a bunch of these loads that I would have needed, you know, a 3.5-inch shell. So anyways, I'm gonna shut up, quit talking, and let's pattern some loads. Anyways, let's start with the Longbeard XR number 5. These are some of the old ones that have been sitting out in the shop for a couple years, and then we'll see if there's a difference in the Longbeard XR number 5 for a pack I bought the other day. So this is probably the most popular load outside of TSS, and it's been a staple in the turkey industry for a long time. So I'll shut up, let's shoot. Alright, Longbeard XR 3-inch number 5. I'm going to aim right for the wattle. Alright, this is Longbeard XR 3-inch number 5. A newer load. Woo! That one looks good from here. Alright, let's try a Longbeard XR number 6. Let's hit a little bit lower point of aim, point of impact. Alright, here's one of my personal favorites, the Double X 3-inch number 5. Woo, that hit low. Let's go with the Federal Grand Slam 3-inch number 5. Ooh, that's not bad. Bring that point of aim, point of impact up just a hair for a close range round. I got no problems with the way that looks from here. We'll see how it stretches out. Alright, Remington Premiere 3-inch number 5. Remington Nitro 3-inch number 5. That actually looks really darn good from 15 yards. So these are kind of the butt of all the internet's jokes and every turkey hunting group I'm a part of on Facebook. At 15 yards, from here I like what I see. Alright y'all, at 15 yards, if you're shooting Remington Nitros, do not let your buddies in hunt camp Nitro shame you. That's not a bad pattern. I had bias coming into these, but at 15 yards, you tell me, is that a dead turkey? And you spent half as much per shot on these? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Alright y'all, well we're repositioned, we're backed off for 35 yards. Typically what I do when I back off for 35 yards is I aim a little higher than the wattles, usually the head-ish in between the wattles. And I'm probably going to be aiming for the head just because there's a little bit of a hump in the terrain here. So just to try to make sure we get as many pellets on target for the sake of the test as we can. But 35 yards, this is about as far as I care to shoot them. Me personally, my opinion, part of the fun with turkey hunting is getting them close and feeling that that rattle when they're gobbling right on top of you. And so I know you can shoot twice this far easily with loads like TSS, even some other loads. But for me, 35-ish yards is about as far as I'm going to shoot one. So anyways, let's see which of these loads perform the best here. So we'll run it back through in the same order. Alright y'all, like I said, we got just a bit of a hump in the terrain here. That can happen while you're turkey hunting, so might as well practice for it. Alright. Winchester Longbeard XR, 3-inch number 5 in this old box. I'm going to aim roughly top of the wattles in the head. Alright, so one of the things I noticed at close range is that that new box was slightly tighter. Let's see how much better, if at all, the new box performs at 35 yards. Alright, 3-inch number 5 Longbeard XR, 35 yards, the new box. Alright, so the new box and the old box, the Longbeard XR, shot like completely different loads at range. That new box was way tighter, way tighter. All right, let's try these number 6s. I think these held low, so I'm gonna aim high on the head. And if this was the low I was gonna shoot, remember I could always adjust my point of aim, point of impact. All right, this is the Longbeard XR number 6. Let's go check it out. It looks decent from here. All right, long-time favorite load, Winchester Double X, number 3, 5 shot, 35 yards. Woo, that one bit me a bit, even with the sled. Federal Grand Slam, 3-inch number 5. I saw a lot of dirt fly up on that one. I wonder if a lot of our pellets are in the ground. I thought I aimed kind of high. Remington Premiere, 3-inch number 5. Saw a lot of dirt fly up on that one too. Nitro Turkey, 3-inch number 5. Honestly didn't do bad at 15 yards. Let's see what it does at 35. Alright, what do you think? Put down in the comments. Is the Nitro going to beat the Grand Slam at 35 yards? I would almost say it would have to. But let's see what it does. Everyone talks crap about you on the internet, Nitro Turkey. Now's your chance for redemption. No one's going to give it to you. You got to go earn it. You got to go take it. Alright. Nitro Turkey, 3-inch number 5, 35 yards. I think that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good, Nitro Turkey. Oh my goodness. I'm happy for you, Nitro. I'm happy for you. Let's go check it out up close. Alright, so up first is the Remington Longbeard XR 3-inch number 5. These are the old loads that have been sitting out in the shop for a couple years. And 15 yards, you better make sure you're aiming, even if that bird is in tighter. I'll roll in a picture right here, over here somewhere, where a bird I shot a couple years ago with this like within 10 yards, and it pretty much skinned him. He was almost decapitated. He was pretty gross. I'm not going to post the up close picture because I don't want to get a strike. But you can look in and see that some things look to be missing on that bird, and you are correct. So 15 yards, Longbeard XR 3-inch, awesome pattern. And on any of these, don't get too hung up on point of aim, point of impact. A lot of people run either the True Glow sights like I'm running or Red Dot. And if you like the pattern, you can change your point of aim, point of impact. Alright, so here's a newer box. This is what I wanted to test of the Longbeard XRs. And this is a much tighter pattern. So let me hold up this other one. It's hard to tell here, but you can tell that it is a slightly tighter pattern than this. You've just got a lot more shot density in here, and you really see a big difference once I pull up the further away shot. But here's a new box. It is this one right here. This National Wildlife Turkey Federation edition, whatever. So really cool, really good pattern. Either of these, you couldn't go wrong. Alright, I wanted to try the number 6s. This is also really, really tight. I mean, I can look through and see you right there. These are the number 6s. I started out my turkey hunting journey shooting number 4s, and I've gone to number 5s as kind of the sweet spot. But number 6, you change your point of aim, point of impact for this load, and you move it up there, and again, you might be parting him of his waddle. So, cool load. Alright, this was one of my favorite loads for a long time. Again, point of aim, point of impact was a little low. I used to have my gun dialed for these. These are the Winchester Double X number 5s. Really good pattern. I feel like you get good forgiveness up close, and in general, it usually holds pretty tight downrange. But this one right here, maybe not the best, maybe not the worst, but a solid pattern for shooting up close. Alright, so if I was going to take a new turkey hunter out and I had a rule that we weren't going to shoot past 20 yards, this might be the load that I would have them shoot. As you can see here, it is opened up a lot more than any of the other loads. And you're going to see, while that's a bonus up close, it's going to be a detriment at 35 yards. And you've probably already seen it depending on how I edit this. But not a bad load if you're someone who just wants to shoot like 20 yards and in, 25 yards and in. This would be the load that I would go with from that standpoint. Alright, here's the Remington Premiere. I mean, any of these loads, they're not going to be horrible this close, but I mean, compared to the rest, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of pellets in there for whatever reason. Alright, let's take a look at the Remington Nitro. Hey, that's not a bad pattern. I don't care if you're even a dude who likes to shoot a 3.5 inch shell or TSS. That's not a bad pattern. And here's the one thing that I'll say about these Remington Nitros, or anything, especially in our industry, with everything getting so darn expensive, you should not root against the value option. You should root for this to either A, give us good options at an affordable price, because we either have been or know someone who at some point in their life has been tight on funds and on a budget. That's a really good option. Nothing to sneeze about right there. I would be fully confident going into the turkey woods shooting Remington Nitro, and we should want these to perform and be comparable to the other loads, which you'll see here soon, or you may have already seen on the test, to drive down the price of some of these absurdly priced options. So Remington Nitro, very impressed with that. Alright, y'all, these are the 35-yard patterns. Honestly, most of these you'd probably be okay with the exception of one. Some are definitely better than others. Some people probably still want a really, really tight, dense pattern at 35. Me, I want solid coverage, because as that turkey is bobbing and putting that head up, and a lot of times they might just be peeking over a log, having a little bit of variability at that range is something that I look for in the way my gun patterns. So, the first one, here's an old box of the Longbeard XRs. There is nothing wrong with that. Check that out. 35 yards, and if anything, a bulk of the pattern might be over here, so I may have to look at how that gun is shooting, but that's still a dead bird. You're still dragging him out, and you're posting a picture on Facebook to all your friends. So that's the original box of number 5s. I've been sitting out in the shop, and here's where you'll see a really big difference. This is what I wanted to test Longbeard XR. Here's the new box. Much, 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 much tighter. So that resin, I would say on this, has definitely broken down and these shells have opened up. I noticed this because I just started patterning my shotgun the last couple of years. And I thought, these just don't seem to be as tight as they were at range. And honestly, I like these shells that have been marinating out in that shop for a little bit. I like that pattern. Personally, again, change your point of aim, point of impact more than this one. Nothing wrong with that. You move this up here. Still a good pattern, still going to kill a bird, but I kind of like those ones with the broken down resin. So if you're storing your Longbeard XRs out in the shop, especially if you're in the southeast like I am and it gets well over 100 in the summer, you might want to think about that. You might be ruining those shells or making them better, depending on your preference. Alright, this one was pretty good too. Change your point of aim, point of impact. Take this, move it over here, and that's a really good pattern. Those number 6s. In a lead shot, this is probably as light as you want to go for a turkey load, because out at distance, science and physics and stuff, you're losing momentum. And even though you have more pellets, you need them because each individual one's not carrying as much momentum. Alright, this one hurt me a little bit because I've used the Double X for a long time, and yeah, it looks like maybe more of the pattern is down here in this general area. Maybe it's just a sight adjustment, but I even still held high. Like, I was holding up here on this guy and I still hit low. So the Double X, you were good to me for many years, but I think you're retired in this gun choke combo. Federal Grand Slam, poop, straight poop. This is what I expected from what I've read on the Facebook groups about the Remington Nitro. I expected something like this, and I did double check when I ejected the shell. I was like, oh, did I actually accidentally stick one of those nitros in there? Nope, Federal Grand Slam. So this one is priced right up there with some of the more expensive loads. And I will say, I held this one high, and I saw a lot of those shells hitting the ground on that hump, but I still held high. And I will say this: I want a load with enough velocity, where up close and far enough away, I can hold within just a couple of inches and still kill the turkey. So I didn't want to reshoot this and hold it way up here, not when there's other options on the market. So Federal Grand Slam, definitely the loser of this test from my gun and my load combo. Love Federal HSTs and my carry ammo, not so much the Federal Grand Slam and my turkey loads. Alright, Remington Premiere, better than the Grand Slam. Still not great. You move some of this up here, and not great for the money. There's definitely better options. I also feel like they try to deceive you on these as far as the price. These are priced right in here with some of the other loads, but your box is just half as big. So a bunch of these are 10-round box, and these are the only ones that come in a 5-round box. So the price looks like it's cut in half, but price per shell, you're paying about as much as some of the other options, and I would go with them before this one. Alright, this, I did not expect to see this. Look at that pattern at 35 yards. That is a dead turkey all day. And remember what we talked about with him bobbing that head and looking up around when they come over that ridge? I might have to run down to the Walmart and grab a couple more boxes of this for a rainy day when money's tight. Hey, country boy could survive shooting turkeys on a round like this. I was shocked. I was surprised. I don't know. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And these are like $1 something a shot. Next time I go to Walmart, I'm probably going to have to sneak a couple boxes of these in the cart. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Got a couple in the brain, several up and down that neck. That's a dead turkey. And here's the thing too. 35 yards is about as far as I want to shoot when I'm harvesting turkey. But I want it to where, give or take, maybe you think he's about 35 and really he's, 38, 41, something like that. You still get enough pellets where you can still get a clean, ethical kill. So I try not to shoot them beyond 40. I like to keep it 35 and in. Sometimes you misrange them out in the field, and I want a load that can do a little bit of everything. So some people may hate this load at 35. I love it. It all depends what you're doing, where you're hunting. Where I hunt, it's very brushy. And unless I'm out in fields, 35 yards, I'm probably not going to get many more shots further than that in the hills and hollers of rolling Middle Tennessee. So anyways, I like this. This was the surprise of the video to me. This and the Longbeard XR, the 2 boxes with some that probably have broken down resin and not, and then these Remington Nitros. At half the cost of any of these others, I'm going to go grab a couple more boxes. These are awesome. Hey, if you stayed this long, thanks for watching the video. Some of the consumables for this video that I bought just for this video, I'm probably sitting at about 60 for this video. So hit that like button. It's free. It helps me out. Back to the video. Let's hope Federal doesn't get outdone by the Remington. There's a certain standard we got to hold ourselves to, Federal. Come on. All right, what do you think? Put down in the comments. Is the Nitro going to beat the Grand Slam at 35 yards? I would almost say it would have to. Nitro Turkey, 3-inch number 5, 35 yards. I think that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good, Nitro Turkey. Oh my goodness. I'm happy for you, Nitro. I'm happy for you. Let's go check it out up close. All right, Nitro Turkey. You look, that might be the best pattern at 35 yards out of all these. Oh my goodness. That looks good. Oh yeah. I might have to shoot the Nitro. Oh my goodness. Look how good this freaking pattern looks at 35 yards. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, that's pretty good. That's a dead turkey. Got a couple in the brain, several in the neck and spine. Nitro Turkey. Hey, for half the price as all these others, if you don't want to shoot something like Nitro Turkey because you're embarrassed, you think your friends are going to make fun of you at hunting camp, but if you're in a pinch and can't find your load of choice, let me tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with that at 35 yards for a lead load. That cost $1.10, 20 cents a round.